We're here at Knott's Berry Farm, where there was a recent announcement of some big changes coming up in 2014 to the park. And amongst those is a whole refurbishment and change of the whole area of Camp Snoopy, as well as a redo of the Calico Mine Ride. And so following in line with what we did last year with the boardwalk and with the changes to the log ride, things are following up. They're in agreement and working with the same company, which is Garner Holt, which is known for such thing as Radiator Springs Racers at Disneyland or at DCA. And so log ride open to big praise, and people are loving all the changes there. Really everything that they did in combination with Cedar Fair and Knott's Berry Farm was thought to be very cool in respecting the history and the culture of the park, while at the same time modernizing it and making it even cooler. So wanted to take this day on a kind of slow late Wednesday afternoon to kind of take a walk through some of the areas that are going to be under change and look at kind of document a little bit of what is and maybe speculate a little bit on what will be. So let's go take a look around. So far there hasn't been a ton announced in regards to what the changes to the Camp Snoopy area will be. The company has stated that there will be updates and kind of refurbs across the board, but also some additions of new rides. One of the things that's been speculated is that this theater area is going to get a redo, so we'll see what that is right now. It's showing its age a little bit with some of the adult painting and things like that, but not sure beyond that what will go on there. Alright, so in this area it would seem like this could definitely be due for an update in two places. The Great Skate, Joe Cool's Great Skate, is a ride that is rarely too busy, at least in our observations when we've been here with our niece and nephew and kind of wandering around. But even more importantly, over here, the Camp Snoopy Depot, which was kind of a little mini train ride that adults could also go on, has been closed for a good while now. I'm not even sure when it actually closed, but it is one of the rides that's been closed and is no longer even listed on their daily closed ride list. So when they post that on Twitter or even in front of the place, it's not listed as a closed ride. It's just as if it's a ride that doesn't exist. So I think it's likely with all the train track still back there, they've got a cool train ride somewhere out there, because it's just a fun little thing for kids and their parents to take them on. So it would seem like they would do something with that and update that in some way, because one of the big pushes has been to make it a more family-friendly park and to make more rides that fit for both. And so they've kind of made a stand where they're not going for further investment necessarily in the roller coaster thing, and they've still got a fair share, obviously, of great roller coasters, and they're known for that crowd, but trying to push a little bit more towards those rides that families can enjoy with the kids and the adults there. So I think we'll definitely see some changes here at the Camp Snoopy Depot in the very near future. Now all of this is set to open in early summer, so very similar to what we saw last year. It was a very quick, pretty stunning job by Garner Holt and the team over here, and so they announced it. They got down to work real quick there. I think this one we're looking at probably will be starting very soon, January-ish, and then they plan to open up probably there, we'll guess somewhere in that April-May territory, so that's all ready for that summer season, maybe even that spring break season. So all right, let's keep it going. Okay, so here we have Grizzly Creek Lodge, which was formerly Lucy's Lunchbox, and it's just kind of a counter-service restaurant that's kind of faded and doesn't have a ton going on, a lot of open space inside, but you'll see a lot of groups when they have field trips and things like that here will join in there. But I think this is another area that we'll definitely see kind of closing down and revamping to take it up a notch there. One of the things I think will be most interesting to see about the changes to Camp Snoopy is if there is any push to make things, as we talked about with the train, a little bit more embracing of the adults and just a little bit older of kid. As you can see with things like the Charlie Brown Speedway here, adults can sit in on those as well, but they're really, just kind of going in a circle, tiny kids ride. Or if we turn over here to another obviously child-oriented ride. These are rides that are really meant for really young kids and are a blast for them. Seen at Knott's over the last few years is there's kind of a loss of that middle level. There's a lot of things for the 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old children, but as there's a little bit of a loss maybe in between that and the roller coaster generation, where you're hitting those the 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-olds maybe that aren't quite ready for some of the big coaster action, and there's smaller coasters too, but you know, it'd just be interesting to see how much any of this changes in that way, or if it's just going to be kind of, you know, a paint job and things like that. So, all right, over here off kind of across the way from the Speedway, we have the Timberline Twister, which is a mini children's coaster, the Snoopy Camp Bus, which is a little kind of wheelie bus experience, and then there's Lucy's Tugboat over there. And again, these are all rides that families can join in on, but they're definitely more for the supervision of children than they are for the enjoyment of the entire family right now. So not sure how much of this can actually change in that time, or if that's even you know, of an interest. Obviously they can't necessarily do the same thing in terms of adding big dark rides and things like that as something like Disney, so it's a little bit different of a situation with a regional park like this. That being said, a spot like this where Mirror Mirror was for Knott's Scary Farm is kind of an interesting space of just kind of dead space here, so it'd be surprising if there's not something planned for this. If you are not familiar with the Season Pass podcast, I highly recommend that. They do the best job of anyone I've heard really covering Knott's Berry Farm work. They do lots of interviews throughout the year, some amazing stuff with Knott's Scary Farm, and everything they did last year with the reboot of the park was really awesome, and it's actually what got me even more interested in Knott's, and have taken more of an interest to do some of our own video work and things like that. So definitely check them out, because they are by far the experts. A lot of what they found in their interviews and talking with the new management that comes from that Disney background is a you know, great understanding of the differences of what this park has been and what they want it to be in terms of that kind of family-friendly environment, and an acknowledgement, an obvious acknowledgement, that they can't do everything this in terms of scope or finances the way a Disney would. So that's not the goal, but they can take control of the you know, those smaller areas, and so they've done an outstanding job with food and the cleanliness of the park and just making it a family-friendly atmosphere. And I think last year the opening with the new reboots in the boardwalk area is a testament to that, you know, putting their money where their mouth is, that they're focusing on investing in families and making this a place fun for all ages, not just the teen crowd and the coasters. So I think Knott's is becoming the park that families in Southern California are going to really want to be at if they're not already coming there. And I think the Rocky Road Trucking Company, which again is one of these rides that is about kind of having the parents accompany the kids, and they get to bump the horns, as you can hear, and go around the track in a circle. So again, a lot of fun for those 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old kids, but then they kind of quickly outgrow that. Okay, so in wrapping up the Camp Snoopy side of the equation there, they've got a lot to work with in terms of what they want to do, and it'll be interesting to just see what the plans are. The other big part, though, probably that's going to get the most attention, especially from the you know, amusement park aficionado crowd, is going to be the changes to the Calico Mine Ride. And so if you follow along at all, you know that, again, the Timber Mountain Log Ride changes have been wildly popular. You know, I think the most negative thing I've heard is just that there's so much cool stuff, it's hard to see it all. So definitely big expectations for the animatronic work that Garner Holt and them are going to do with the Calico Mine Ride. So let's go over that area. So here we are at the Calico Mine Ride, and this is one of the most famous amusement park attractions in really the world. A ton of history, designed and by the master Bud Hurlburt way back in the day, and there's a lot of great Disney stories here of, you know, Walt being amazed by kind of how the line works, and that's so hidden there. People don't even know how long of a line they're waiting, and kind of that worked into some of the queuing system for Disneyland down the line. So this is really kind of one of those first classic type dark rides where you have some figures inside, and you kind of go as a family through the darkness and see the stuff, and it's definitely in need of updates. And again, if interested in more on the history of this, is kind of the relationships between Disney and Knott's, I cannot recommend highly enough the Season Pass podcast, because it's just an awesome little history lesson throughout. But that being said, it is a fun little ride, and it is in need of updates, and so it's really awesome. And I think that was the first thing on everyone's mind once the log ride was going to be redone by Garner Holt, is wondering what kind of cool stuff they would do with their technology on this ride. And again, it shows a big statement about the focus of Cedar Fair and Knott specifically this park in terms of what they're doing, of investing money in classic rides that have attracted people for a long time since the gates first opened in a lot of ways, rather than just knocking something down and throwing in a real quick, you know, another roller coaster or something like that. So definitely bodes well for those of us that really are interested in kind of seeing the park become, take that step into that kind of classic park that we think it can be. So let's go take a look at the ride.
I'm gonna take it down into this crazy old Calico Mine. And this time there is no eating, no drinking, and absolutely positively no smoking. Because while we have lots of dangerous gases and dynamite here in the mine, we don't want any unexpected explosions. Anyways, folks, take a good long look there at Calico Square because, well, the way I've been driving lately, it just might be your last. Because, well, all aboard! Well, folks, we're headed down into tunnel number 1. So please keep all your hands and arms inside those cars at all times because we don't want to lose them. And folks, also please remain seated because we don't want to lose you. And those and all, well, folks, the danger that has plagued us miners for many years has been these hot, boiling, steaming piles of mud. As the miner put his finger on Mother Earth, a hot, boiling steam of gutter comes erupting in his face. Well, somewhere you'll see the mine piece of elevators. And we're transporting many different cargoes to different levels of the mine. But sadly, it ain't working today. Well, also, folks, to your right, you'll see the famous Calico Memorial. Oh boy! We found the world's largest, richest veins of gold ore down there. Underground lake and Lost River. We found many types of bodies of water that mines like these. We also found the flying fish that had never seen the light of day. Flying fish. Well, folks, coming up on your right, you'll see a real particular type of shore. This is known as Square Set Shipwreck. It was invented by the famous mining engineer, Dutch here. That type of shore don't leave the cost not close. Very, 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 very possible. Holy cow, folks. Oh my goodness, folks. There's a miner was born a yellow vein of gold in the heart of this mountain. He broke into these caverns. Sure are pretty, aren't they? A tiny drop of mineral bearing water comes to fall in. About a million years forms these great big stalagmites and stalactites. Sure are pretty, aren't they? So pretty. Well, folks, to the left, you'll see the depths of these caverns. They're so deep, we believe it leads to Disneyland. Well, folks, to the left, you'll see the upper levels of the Calico Memorial. Look at all those mining operations going down there. Because of those mining operations, we collected over $80 million worth of gold nuggets, silver nuggets, gold nuggets, and the rare chicken nuggets. Oh boy, where's the barbecue sauce? Well, folks, we're going over to Wrestling Wobbly Trouble. You know this thing that's built way back in 1880? And woo, I sure breathe a whole lot easier when I get to the other side. I made it, I sure hope you did, but if you didn't, I'll be thinking of you. Well, folks, they've been blasting this dynamite down here for weeks, so well, here we go. Oh no! Yeah! Well, pickle my peas, folks, we made it out of that crazy old Calico Mine alive. Well, anyways, folks, thanks for riding the Calico Mine Ride. But first, when our ride comes complete, stop, please stand up, lift up on that little seat by the door, the jump seat. I'll be unlocking you momentarily. Thanks for riding the Calico Mine Ride. Have a good one here and not very far. Thanks for coming.
Mine Ride, a fun kind of classic ride there, definitely in need of some updates, and so it's really cool to see that. I have full faith in the things that are going to go on here in the next year. If you look just in the last couple years, the changes in food, the culture of just the park in general in terms of really trying to embrace families and bring them in, very cost effective all the way around in terms of pricing, and just a great place to come, eat, hang out, take the family, enjoy a day, enjoy a night after work, so lots of cool things there. So really excited to see what we are going to see in the very near future here. If you look at the work that they did in with the Garner Holt in the last year with the boardwalk and the the log ride. It was really awesome, and takes us back to a place of kind of what the park was when it first opened, which is very much a family-friendly place, and not necessarily divided where the kids are just in Camp Snoopy and then the teens are on the roller coasters and the parents are eating. But they're really trying to bring the families together, and it's a great cost-effective park. Right now a season pass is $13 a month, I believe it is, for only a 6-month payment. So for us, it's always an easy decision each year to renew our season passes and come out here. So definitely check out the Season Pass podcast for more information on things that have been going on here. Some awesome interviews. Check out some of our past videos. We did a lot with Knott's Scary Farm and also just the changes in the park in the last year, and definitely we'll be covering this all the way up to opening and beyond in 2014. It should be a really exciting summer. So until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere.